Hello Capricorn, it's Lorene from Insight Readings with your insights for the month of 21. I just want to say thank you so much for your likes, your comments, and your views. It inspires me to carry on with the channel, and I'm very grateful for that. It is a gift to me. Thank you so much. This month I'm going to do again a little bit of the astrology and then go into our reading. But before I do that, I'd like to just call on spirit guides. The guardians of the four corners, angels, ancestors, and sacred ones, I call on you and welcome you here now. Thank you for clarity, wisdom, and understanding for the messages for Capricorn for the month of 21. Thank you, Spirit. Amen. Okay, so I just want to give you the energies of what is in your sun sign, Capricorn. And yes, you still are, Capricorn is 19th of May. Okay, so Capricorn, we have that sun, the sign of where your sun is natally, or it is your rising sign, because it is for your sun, your rising, or your moon. If you don't know your rising or ascending sign, which would be worked out on the time where you were, when you were born and place, you do know the date, and then you can use your sun or moon. And I do find that there is a lot of power in that as well. So for Capricorn, you have Venus and Pluto conjunct, although Venus is moving away from that conjunction from Pluto. But I just want to give you the energies of what is in that house, your first house, your ascending house. So Venus and Pluto together gives that need to eliminate disturbing feelings. Disturbing, that's Pluto, and Venus is the feelings. Otherwise, they can become obsessional and neurotic tendencies. It can bring that on. So you need to look at a normal release of those undesired feelings. Otherwise, there'll be a tendency to explosive feelings with Pluto. And then the other conjunction is Uranus and Mars in your fifth house. So your first house is about yourself, your aspirations. It's all about your achievements, where you want to go in life, your vitality. And the fifth house is about it's like your fun house. It's children, it's lovers, it's fun, and it's creativity, in short. Okay, and here we have this energy of Mars. So there's a trine here, okay? So they bleed into each other in a sense, because we have this Venus rules Taurus. So Mars and Uranus together gives the energy or the feelings or a need to transform it. It is transformation with Uranus there, but Mars is energetic. It's enterprising impulses that could come through, deviating from the normal. It's rebellious passions, excitable emotions, erratic self-will, because of this is the planet of shock treatment and unexpected things. And then Mars, of course, is that dynamic energy and restlessness, impatience, impulsiveness, fanatical courage, high nervous tension, but also a tendency to sexual abnormalities. So you've got to try and look for a successful or better way of a successful expression. Otherwise, there will be the tendency to eccentricity, irritability, or extreme self-will in this fifth house. Or you could be dealing with children with the same type of energies. Okay, so then we're going to move on to, and our moon is in Virgo. So I'm going to give you the energies of those planets and how they relate in that sense. So the moon in Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde as well. So let's do the sun first, because the sun is in this second house of your possessions, earnings, how you take care of yourself. And it is our vitality. So we'll start off with the sun. The sun in the sign of Aquarius is detached, independent, reformative, idealistic, unconventional, erratic, and rebellious. That's the sign of Aquarius. And the moon, the other light, which is our fate and destiny, and our wheel of fortune, because it changes all the time with the moon phases. Now remember, we had the full moon in Leo, the wolf moon, as the month closed. So there's energy that something came to fruition, and yeah, we're dealing with it now as it starts to wane, as we call it. And the moon in Virgo is a sign of discrimination as well. But in Virgo, again, it would be the energy of being reserved, of being modest, meticulous, or fastidious, timid, and nervous. These are the energies. And then on the second of it, we have Venus that changes barriers, comes into the second house again. So a huge focus on this house for you. And that is a square between these two here. So Venus in Aquarius, once again, it's all in that sign of Aquarius. Why I'm not mentioning these two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, although Saturn rules Aquarius in Hellenistic astrology, is because they are hidden under the beams of the sun. They're too close to the sun, so there's stuff that is hidden. And this is government rules, because of the sun in its fall here in the sign in Hellenistic astrology. So there's something about governments and authorities under the beams. There's discussions, there's hidden stuff. Mercury's retrograde here, it's coming to revisit all these things. But in your life, in the second house, it's about your possessions, how you take care of yourself, where you're going, property, how you earn your income, your physical resources. So there's stuff happening here. Now Venus is also about luxury and money and finances, and Venus is now entering that house. So the energy of Venus in Aquarius is being coolly affectionate, friendly, quiet, idealistic, or being touchy, uncompromising, and having unconventional desires. Okay, squaring off against this here. And then on the 10th of February, we have the moon here. So now we have 6 planets of the 7 traditional planets. Mars is the other one, all in this house here. So the moon, let's do the moon now in Aquarius. Again, the moon in Aquarius is, and it's a new moon, so there's something new that's happening here in that house, is again being detached, because the moon is emotions, courteous, imaginative, dispassionate, or unpredictable, erratic, and aloof. So very much that type of energy. Now the moon can relate to female energy, the sun to authority or male energy, your drive and your body. And that's a square between your 5th and your 2nd house. So about your love and passions and where you want to go, your creativity, your imagination, dealing with children. It could be difficulty, and a pretty a square it can be pretty difficult energies. So your 2nd house, we're going to do a reading on the 2nd house. I'm going to pause this, remove the board, and then we'll work on those energies with the tarot as well. Okay, so our 2nd house, I'm going to shuffle these. We put out 3 cards. Your 2nd house, as we say, relates to money, physical resources, earned income, your possessions, valuables. So savings would come into that in your efforts, by your own efforts and talents. Okay, it also deals with early education. So remember, you've got all these planets in this house. Okay, your family life, what you eat, your knowledge, your self-esteem, how you deal with money, and your body, your physical constitution, your priorities and your attachments, and your sense of physical security would definitely come into it. And yes, with COVID, that would be a huge thing. But it's also the house of jealousy and possessiveness, okay, the 2nd house. But your strengths and your talents. And the square, so this is a huge significance, because this is this house of Aquarius, and you're coming from an independent, freedom-seeking, detached, emotionally detached sense here. And that square or difficulty is between your 5th house. So we'll do 3 cards for the 5th house. So the 5th house is about your leisure, your enjoyment, your fun, love and romance comes into it. Dating, pregnancy would come into it. You know, creative activity, gambling and hobbies fall into this house as well, because we get fun, have fun out of it. It'll be the house of relationship with your children, entrepreneurship, self-employment, mind and intelligence, your discernment. Spiritual techniques are in that 5th house as well, because it's the house of good luck. Good karma from the past, or luck and courtship comes in here. Of course, love affairs would fall into it, with romance and partnerships. Committed relationships can come into that. It's the house of sports and acting, expression, poetry, art and teaching. So all of that falls into it. So when we read the tarot between these 2 houses that you're working with and significant energies, there's sort of a square, there's difficult energy, but with the planets that are there, there's going to be movement. Okay. So in your 2nd house, you have the 4 of Wands. So there's something that is committed. There's commitment here. This is the card of marriage. The card of celebration, of happiness, of having those 4 rods in the ground now, and having the commitment, you know, and celebration with family and friends in the 2nd house. So it could be that there is a marriage, that there is a property that is purchased, or that you're moving home, because this 4 of Wands normally comes up with moving. So there's a possession of a new home that could be coming up. And why we say that is because the next card is the 10 of Swords. There's an ending of sorts, of something that came through that was very difficult. The 10 of Swords is really difficult energies. It's the energies of feeling. It is an Aquarian energy, because it's sharp. Swords are sharp and difficult energy. A battle that you were in, but you were backstabbed in a sense, and you felt betrayed. And even though you knew it intuitively, in this deck, Nightshade is death. Okay, so it's the ending, it's 10, it's the end of the story. The sun is starting to come up. Intuitively is the owl. You knew somehow intuitively that this was happening, but you didn't want to face it. But now there's this full awareness of this betrayal or this difficult energy that is come through, and there's celebration now, because it's done, it's dusted. Whatever it was is finished. And there's this choice now that is being made again with whatever came through here for you around home, money, possessions. There's a choice here about the 2 of Wands. Again, we have the cat there facing this, and here the cat has turned its back on the past here in this deck or this reading. I find that absolutely beautiful. You know, to see the significance of how Spirit brings it through. We have a wall here, and this person's turned their back to the past. They're looking towards the future because they've received the messages with this feather here. His hand is on what is new being presented and looking towards the future now and what is there. And there's calm emotions. The sea here in front of him is calm. It's detached. The emotional drama and trauma is gone. It's taken out of it with the sign of Aquarius and where the planets are now. So definitely moving forward there with a choice to bring something new in your creativity and with regards to your money, and looking forward and saying sort of the world is your oyster and the choices you make are yours in a very inspirational way, intuitive way. And then this 5th house of romance, again, 8 of Pentacles, working hard on something. We see the skeleton here. It's almost like you're burning the midnight oil. You're down to the bare bones of something now. You've seen through it. While you were working hard on trying to develop something in a practical, tangible way with regards to your 5th house, your fun house, those energies, with your children, pregnancy, whatever it is. You were building something there. You've had to sacrifice something, because while she's busy polishing these pentacles, putting her time and effort into it, she hasn't got the time to focus on anything else. But this is practical energy. Because of the time invested here, there is always something that comes through, because it's pentacles. And 8 is a very positive number. With the King of Cups, so this could be somebody in your life. It's changes on the outside. Kings bring changes on the outside. Remember, it is a general reading. So there could be a marriage here as well, signified definitely. An investment in something. But the King of Cups is about having emotional support, of being emotionally rational, where something that has been really difficult has come to an end, and making a decision and a choice that affects your outside life on an emotional, grounded, earthy level, being strategic, being diplomatic, and being sort of unemotionally attached, okay, even though it's water energy. I mean, you get married, there's emotions in it, but there's detachment in a sense as well. And then we have the Six of Cups, which is balance finally, and being nostalgic, thinking about the past, thinking about how things were before when your cups were full, thinking about your home life possibly, and how things were when you were kids, or dealing with your own children, because it is the 5th house as well. And the cups are full here, happiness and balance in that. So there's relationship change, there's financial change, there's security changes that are all in this reading for you, Capricorn. So let's see how we join these up. So moving home, getting married, celebrating with family and friends about something you've worked hard on, you put a lot of time and energy into in a practical sense, and finally reaping those rewards. Reaping the rewards of where you've invested time and energy in. And there we have the, oh, how beautiful. This is the card of temperance, getting that balance. It's a major arcana card, and even though there's been blood invested, this is wine, or coming from the lion's head, very passionate. We had the full moon in the sign of Leo, the wolf moon. So that's your emotions as well. So something you've seen, something very prominent Leo energy, but to get balance now in a very adaptable way. It's also about the eclipses in Sagittarius, because this is Sagittarius and eclipses for you. And Sagittarius is your 12th house, where there was destruction and endings. And Gemini would be your 6th house, where your north node is and where the balance is coming now. So this is balance, and it says take everyone's input into consideration, merge the viewpoints, because they're very practical and inspirational, to create a better solution. Take your time, and there's no need to rush. Now, the energy of temperance is about being adaptable, being flexible, being the alchemist of your life. Drinking the lion, the wine that is coming out of the lion's mouth here into this cup. Even though it's splashing up, it's not splashing out of the cup. So there's an opportunity that's being presented here that is more balanced. And we see all this white clothing here with purity, being able to blend things in a rational way. So our difficult energy here with regards to something that has been emotionally extremely difficult, but it's finally done, dusted, finished. The of Swords and the King of Cups. It could have been a relationship that ended in a very brutal fashion. Another major arcana card, the Star. This is Aquarius energy. So yeah, you have Aquarius energy in, and that is exactly what has happened. The star is saying, look to the future with hope and optimism. The power of faith to move mountains. Happy changes that bring relief from challenging times. And this is extremely challenging times. The card of the star energy is like faith, hope, and healing. You put your dreams on something and they were dashed. But there's healing now because the universe takes over. These are universal cards when the major arcana comes out, and that's what is out here. And your cardinal signs, so it's been pretty tough energies. So there's the healing, balance, healing. And our last card here, and this one's coming out there, Prince of Autumn. So that is definitely a prince, would be children, okay, something that is small, but it's also about information that comes through on a very practical sense, because it's pentacles, practical sense, something that's dependable. So you get news around this, about the choices that are made, protective, and then it says chivalrous and humorous. So you could have a partner now that is very protective as well in this relationship. Being cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, because that is Pentacles energy, and that is Virgo. Definitely, and we had the moon was in Virgo on the 1st of April. And kindness to others. So even though there's been real difficulty here, there's something that comes through in a very practical, tangible way for us as the universe picks up. We get put on this lifeboat as we go through the journey of life, and the difficulties hit us left, right, and center, and we feel like we're drowning. But the universe and spirit, the stars, don't give us more than we can handle. And our oracle message to close our reading, Capricorn. The Rowan, control and discernment. Isn't that beautiful energy? It did come up right. And we had autumn there, and these berries look very sort of autumny colors with that orange. So I'm going to pause and then find it in the book to save time, and let's read that. Okay. So it says, when Rowan appears, it is a reminder that you have more control over what is happening around you than you may believe. Now is the time to maintain control over your emotions, and you will find your endeavors greatly protected. A very sacred tree in the Norse tradition, Rowan reminds us that there must be a balance between common sense and superstition. Science and magic, freedom and discipline. Knowledge overcomes fear and gives birth to discernment. Opportunities for true knowledge are at hand, and you will be able to filter out what and who is no longer suitable for you. Well, I can't put it in any better terms than that. That is to the point, and it is control and discernment, and that is exactly in the sign of Aquarius. It is control and discernment that is coming through, without that emotional bond or tie that sort of holds us. The mind and the head doesn't think the same. There's balance, there's healing, there's practical control and discernment now. Beautiful, beautiful energy. I couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for showing it in the sky. Our lives are written in the sky by the stars as well as through Spirit. Thank you, Capricorn, for your support. It inspires me to carry on. I wish you all the best and see you next time.